Let's say hi to Andre Walter from NTT DATA Business Solutions. He will talk about their use of CloudStack.
Thank you, Yvette. So really, I guess it's since 3 years. It's the first time I'm on stage again, so to say. So it's yeah, and so thanks a lot for the conference here, and especially yesterday when you meet some people again. You know, you're going outside, drinking a beer, having some talks. So life is starting again, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, but today. I clearly want to talk about NTT Data Business Solution, and how we are using CloudStack, and especially also what are the new developments. Yeah, starting with me, I'm Andre. I'm at NTT. You know, NTT is a quite large company, so it's a Japanese telecom, so to say. We have one brand, which is one entity, but in detail, these are 300 different companies. Yeah, you have to understand, we have a lot of things regarding physical data centers. We have we are acting as a telephone provider, we are acting as a hosting partner, and different consulting units. So therefore, you have to understand NTT Data Business Solutions, where I'm engaged. It is the SAP consulting unit of NTT. Yeah? That's really important to understand, because we are dealing basically with SAP customers, yeah, which are maybe a little bit different than the normal infrastructure customers. Okay, we started using CloudStack in 2014, so clearly we made some test environments, yeah, and the people were really happy about the quality of CloudStack, and yeah, the user groups, you know, was really active, and they really enjoyed it. So, and therefore this led us to the fact that we were starting in 2016 the European CloudStack, the German. I'm also getting a little bit confused. So the German user group for CloudStack, we had an initial meeting in Berlin. So also a lot of guys from Shape Blue, and this was basically, then we started really with CloudStack. Okay, I have 4 daughters, and sometimes you see me running, and now somebody is calling me. I don't have time, so okay. So as I said, we are the consulting SAP consulting unit of NTT. And when you look at our area, we call it GMS, Global Managed Services, because we are basically the hosting provider. Yeah? So we have a big consulting unit. They are going to customers, implementing SAP software, yeah? And we are doing the managed services. So we have 6 data center locations, yeah? And some other, so we also have colleagues here in Bulgaria who are serving the customers, but physically we have 6 data center locations. Yeah? It's Germany, Poland, Switzerland, Denmark, US, and Malaysia. So these are our physical presences. Beside this, so clearly we are engaged in the hyperscaler area, and we are focusing on AWS and Azure. Yeah? So we also have some hybrid customers, but usually the customers are either in the data centers or select one hyperscaler platform. Yeah? So when you count at the figures, so more than 1,000 customers, so this is not so important. Maybe server instances is 15,000, and when you compare it, we have around 10% in the hyperscaler area. So 90% is still in the physical data center and 10% in the hyperscaler area. And there is split nearly half-half between Azure and AWS. Yeah? And our challenge is clearly, as I said, SAP, because SAP is usually a quite huge, massive applications. Yeah, so you could do container with SAP, but with a 6 terabyte memory, it doesn't make any sense. So, and you know, sometimes our servers are starting 1.5 hours, so that's a little bit difficult. So, but therefore, our use case is really about delivering and operating these SAP applications. Yeah, and you know, often at these talks, you know, we're heavy infrastructure related. Yeah, but our target group is basically what we call SAP administrator. Yeah, so basically we are the infrastructure group, but we want to provide services for the SAP administrator that he can easily operate the system. And in ideal world, he doesn't care about infrastructure at all. Yeah. So this is our concept. So the administrator should not take care whether it's running in Azure on AWS or somewhere else. He just should use the function like starting, stopping, patching, and so on. In ideal world, infrastructure is a little bit more complex, so this is not always possible. But as I said, in ideal world, he should have one interface where I can do everything. Yeah, list his virtual machines, list his databases. Making some schedules about, for example, stop the system at 10 o'clock in the evening. Yeah, you should have a overview about his quota and so on. That's quite easy. Yeah, and we automate up to the installation of such SAP installation. So ideal, so we can install a SAP HANA database or even further systems. Yeah? So this is the use case. Yeah. And we want to provide this to the, we call it SAP Basis Admin. So the architecture behind, we have this CMP. So this is our cloud management platform. Yeah, so this is own program, basically our own portal interface. Clearly with user management and so on, and some and then we automate everything with Ansible. Yeah? So we have a scheduler, but every action on the system is done via Ansible scripts. Every action, some things we are reading directly, but every action is triggered via Ansible. Yeah. And then beside, I would say, the compute functions, we clearly have backup, we're monitoring network and so on. And then the important thing is where we are using CloudStack. Yeah. So we were using CloudStack with KVM. Yeah, so all our test and demo systems are running on KVM. Yeah, and then we wanted to extend CloudStack also for VMware. Yeah? We made a lot of progress there, but I will tell it later. Yeah. And then the power system, so these are used for the IBM Power for the very large system, so up to 12 terabyte. Yeah, so this is power. This is maybe a separate topic. Okay, how was our journey? As I said, we started 2014 with really small, and then it got bigger and bigger. And so up to 2018, 2019, we then managed about 600 SAP systems with these Stack, KVM, and Ceph as storage technology. Yeah? So, and then we made a decision. Yeah, we said, okay, we have so good experience, we want to extend it to the complete data centers. Yeah? As I said, we have 6 plus the hyperscalers. Yeah. Then we had a lot of work done, so we also invested a lot in CloudStack itself, made some feature requests, we also engaged some developers, and finally we started to ingest our landscape. Yeah? So in winter 2020, and as you see it then, so we were coming from one issue to the other. And this is not about CloudStack it's about our inhomogeneous landscape. Yeah. So because we have a lot of exceptions, so to say. Yeah. So we have a variety of systems and customers. Yeah. And then we really underestimated the rollout to our people. Yeah. Because we started to ingest clusters. So we have around 20 VMware clusters. Yeah, we started clearly with 1. Yeah? But then one admin said, yeah, but my customer systems are spread over 5 clusters. So, but I can only use 1. It's completely inconsistent for me. Yeah. So then we try to ingest customers. But then you have the other problem. They are located over different clusters with different boundary conditions. So this was the basic struggle. Yeah? So we basically at the end, this brownfield decision was wrong. So you have to start greenfield basically. Was also learning for me because I was always pushing the people. to get it done, but finally at the end we had to say, okay, it's not possible in this way. And then we now relaunch, so we are still running our KVM-based environment, and now we are saying, okay, we make a new attempt basically also for the KVM-based environments, yeah, to start it from scratch basically. Yeah. What did we do on our journey? So we have two main feature requests which we were supporting. So the advanced VMware vSphere capabilities. So I'm not a real technician, so I cannot explain everything here, but I guess others of you can do for 15. And clearly also a basic thing which we had at the first beginning was the VM ingestion or the unmanaged feature, because this was quite important for us, that we can set a VM to unmanaged, you know, not interfering other things which are triggered by other functions. Okay. Yeah, the different versions. So we have not for 17 yet. So we are still on for 16. The contributions, as I said, we have one dedicated CloudStack developers and around 10 contributors. I'm always trying to searching for more. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. That's open source, and that's it should be. Yeah, and I'm yeah. Let's see what the future journey brings. So I'm always enjoying the community here, and let's see how our journey goes. Questions?
Phone working? Yeah,
now
perfect.
It's working.
Here are Giles.
Thanks, Andre. Really interesting. Just a question about your sort of architecture there. You've got your portal, Ansible, and then CloudStack. Why Ansible in the middle? Why didn't you have a portal that spoke to CloudStack or an orchestrator? What does Ansible actually give you by putting that in there?
Yeah, okay, we have a distributed automation community, so to say, because we have to automate on different levels. You're completely right when it's only about infrastructure, yeah, but we need installing the database. It's done by the database team. Installing an application, the script is done by the application guys, and therefore we need a common layer and a common structure how to automate.
Right, so your portal, it's not just the infra bit.
Exactly.
Okay, get it. It's doing all of the app stuff as well.
Exactly.
And then the other question, if you don't mind, you talked about you had KVM, VMware, and Power.
Yes.
What's Power?
So it's IBM Power. So
IBM Power. Sorry, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So basically, so we are turning more and more. I'm not sure whether you know SAP HANA, so the large databases. So we go more and more that we put all these HANA databases on Power, because the Power is really good for huge servers, and we are reducing the dependence to VMware a little bit. So that's also a journey. Yeah? You cannot do it from one day to the other.
How do you do monitoring? And is it integrated somehow connected with CloudStack and the inventory of all the parts of the system? Are you using some software or CloudStack of like single source of truth?
No. Yes and no. So first of all, so we have two monitoring systems. So on the infrastructure layer, it's SAPEX. So we are monitoring on infrastructure level or with SAPEX, and for the SAP application, there's a special thing which is called FRUN. But I'm talking about the SAPEX here, and it's not integrated. So it's integrated into the portal, but not into the CloudStack. Yeah? And for we have CMDB, but basically. How can I say it? So also our portal is using the CMDB as the central source of truth, as you call it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So.
Would you like to add something?
And so you don't add anything to CloudStack through CloudStack, only from CMDB. I mean, is it possible to create a VM in the CloudStack without CMDB knowing?
It would be possible, but we always have to synchronize it. Yeah. So basically, let me explain it. So in the CMD, in our CMDB, there are all systems, and then you have a flag, okay, whether it's in CloudStack or not. Yeah. So and then clearly you could create something in CloudStack, but the CMDB is the central one. Everybody's looking into the central CMDB. In CloudStack, not everybody's looking at it. So therefore, we have to rely on the central CMDB entries.
And about the backups and the restores, are you utilizing CloudStack in some way, or you have a separate system?
No, because we are using Commvault here. Do you know Commvault?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as I said, so we have such a variety of different SAP systems and databases. So we need in the backup area, also an abstraction layer, because you know that it's pretty easy to use. And also here we are giving out the backups sometimes even to customers. That the customer is saying, okay, I want to schedule it every 2 hours or so, and there it has to be easy. And then we are using Commvault for this.
Even for the snapshot, or?
Snapshot, you have to help me. Yeah.
Would you like to add something? Okay, next question.
Few questions, thank you. So you mentioned some fantastic numbers of terabytes of RAM there. What's the average size of VM in your environment in terms of memory?
Average size, I cannot tell, because you clearly have also small application servers.
Off the top of your head, roughly, if you can.
I guess should be, maybe, I'm not, so on the database side, I would say it's between 1 terabyte and 12 terabytes, yeah, on the database, RAM, yeah?
Okay.
And then clearly application servers are, I don't know, the 24K is really difficult to say the average.
And on the IBM powered machines, do you run any sort of your virtualization, or it runs on the bare metal, your software? I mean,
it runs on IBM Power.
Right. Okay. So there is no virtualization involved there. It's directly on the metal, right?
Yes,
okay.
but you know, my guys are always telling me IBM Power is a kind of virtualization.
Oh, yeah. I do not know that. I did not know that.
No. It's basically integrated. So we have the bare metal, but you know, there the virtualization layer is IBM Power.
I see. I understand. Okay. My last question: is there anything in CloudStack that you'd like to see improved or added to that would make your life easier?
For sure, yeah. So as I said, originally there was the plan, okay, use CloudStack as a central orchestrator. Yeah, but you know, from one step to the other, saying, oh, this is missing, or this has to be improved, you know. And that's always the case, yeah. The more complex, the more diverse your environment is, the harder it is to use one single tool. Yeah, that's the problem.
Is there anything that comes to mind now, that like your biggest pain in the neck regarding a lack of feature or something else?
My biggest pain is my inhomogeneous environment, yeah. And it's, you know, it's taking time, yeah. So we need to standardize, yeah. And I thought, okay, 2 years should be enough, but now I see maybe 10 years. You know, it's taking ages. And then you have some customers, we still have some Windows 2007 servers, yeah, because the customer is not willing to upgrade, yeah. That's the problem you have.
Any other questions, Wolfgang? You're done with questions. Okay.
You mentioned upgrading and reasons for upgrading to 4.15, I think, but not to 4.16. And do you have reasons to upgrade to 4.17 yet, and policies for upgrade?
As I said, so we are currently in relaunching it, yeah. So then we will anyway start with 4.17. So, but I don't want to touch the current environment anymore, because it's running. You know, never touch a running system, and focus on you know, on the new architecture, so to say. Yeah?
So right now you're running 3 versions in parallel.
And I'm not sure whether the last no, it should be all on 4.16. Yeah, it's just the versions we were involved in. Yeah, so now it's all on 4.16.
Anybody else with questions? Okay, so yeah, let's give a warm applause to Andre. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you.